people, this lady on your screen, she is a Guyanese and she's saying that she's a spiritual woman. She's here with a message from Adriana Young, the 11-year-old girl that was killed and thrown in the pool. She is now saying that after Adriana died, Adriana visited her in the spiritual realms and told her everything that went down. People, she attacked one bag of things over here so still, It's a crocus bag of things she attacked. And remember, she wasn't there. She said she never been to that hotel before. But she attacked a lot of things about inside the hotel. And the reason why she's saying all these things is because she said Adriana Young visited her and told her everything in the spiritual realms. So is not she talking of her own, is what Adriana told her in the spiritual realms she is uttering to the public. Please listen.
So let me get straight into it and right into it. I will be addressing the persons that I'm identifying as X and Y and Z. You guys will know exactly who I'm speaking about. They did not know the spiritual power of the number 11. They did not know. But tonight, the persons that received the money, the persons that were paid the bribe money, how can the spirit come back and tell the story? Tonight will be a worse nightmare. So, that young lady has transmitted to me her last moments. So, she left the pool area. I'll say I, as in Adriana. First and foremost, she wants me to address her parents and her grandmother. She stopped me just now. She thanked her father for his spiritual abilities. She said she loved you. I love you, mommy. But daddy, now that I'm here, I overstand your energy. Daddy, I overstand your energy. Daddy, now I overstand your energy. Daddy, it was a reason why you were sick when mommy was pregnant. It was a reason why mommy never got the sickness that she would usually get when she's pregnant, when a woman is pregnant. Mommy, tell the world the truth. Tell the world the story. Tell the world what I'm telling Rosalind tonight, Sister Rosalind tonight, is the truth. You did not endure the normal sickness in your pregnancy with me. You had a beautiful pregnancy. You were excited. You were happy for your entire 9 months. Daddy was the one that was sick. Daddy was the one that was sick. Daddy was the one that got in an accident during me in your womb. Tell the world the truth, mommy. Don't let them corrupt you. Religion is fake, mommy. Religion is fake, granny. They took our ancestral way of life and they wrote the script so that we would be spiritually blind. If daddy had took me to the pool, I would have been alive today. I would have been alive today if daddy had took me to the pool. Daddy, I love you. Mommy, I love you. But spiritually, Daddy, you got your strength from Granny. You got your spiritual powers from your mother because she came from a background of traditional heritage. She came from a background of Amerindian traditional heritage. Tell the world the truth. Tell the world the truth, mommy. Many times people thought that Granny was not as righteous as she should be because she loved Daddy bad. She loved Daddy bad. But it's because of her spiritual background. Daddy was born with that energy. It was transferred to Daddy. When Daddy said that he barely tell you I in that building, my whole skin is growing. I can now tell the world it's because Daddy knew I was in that building. Daddy knew I was in that building. They could have distracted you, mommy. They could have had you going looking for that taxi. But Daddy stood his grounds and you complied. Mommy, you need to be strong because you're going to fall sick. Mommy, you need to be strong because you're going to fall sick. And to the young lady that did the live, I spoke to Miss Batson today. Miss Batson, you need to be strong. I know you didn't agree with what I told you, and I respect that. But I will tell you, I am sending you ancestral strength and power. Brace yourself. You have no clue what you got into. None whatsoever. And what I saw coming to you, I've already contained it. But you need to be aware that you got into something that you're totally unaware of. And don't reject me. Adriana is asking you to don't reject Sister Rosalind. Don't reject her. She's not an evil woman. She is a righteous person. She is a sacred person. I have transmitted to a media person, and he can back me up. And I told him this the day that they found her body. The evening. I told him it's 3 police officers are involved, are the main person. I said, it's the commander, it's a black melanated police, and it's a mixed race, Negro, African black, but not totally black, mixed race. Little brown, little light, mix. It's 3 of them that are spearheading this complete cover-up. I told him he can back me up and it will come out in the truth. And I have the correspondence to prove it when the truth comes out. When the entire physical truth come out. This is the spiritual transmission of the truth. I asked Miss Batson if she checked in the garbage bins. She said she checked. I asked her if she was able to recognize a basement. She said yes. She said something like a basement. Yes, she thinks that it has a basement. I said, were you able to go in the basement area. She said no. I was unable to do that, my sister. So that's it for that. Let me continue now straight into what happened. So that young lady, I left the pool, left the area, above the pool area, where everybody had their bags. Where everybody had their bags and their belongings, Granny, right where you was. I left there. And I went to get the van. I never went to that hotel. I personally don't know that place. A woman, not a young lady, because I asked her energies. I said, is it a younger person? She said, no, it's not a younger person. It was a woman that went looking for the wristbands because I wanted to know what other colors they had. But she was already identified by the owner that she will be the next victim. And they collaborated with the regular persons that they usually collaborate with. And that young lady took her in a room, at the entrance of a room, and she was standing at the entrance. She didn't go in the room. And she said she's looking, and the young lady was looking for the stuff. And she said, oh, look, I have these colors here. See if you like one of these. And she slipped into the room unconsciously. Immediately after she slipped into the room, the young lady come out of the room and hands pulled her behind the doors. She said she blacked out at that point. She don't remember anything at that point. That's when I transmitted what she told me on Facebook at that point of her body being missing. That they drugged her, and check the cameras. You will see hands pulling her. It's on my page. It's on my page before they found the body. All my transmission. It's on my page. I transmitted that it was two persons. It was a father and a son. I transmitted the description that she was showing me. Everything. Tall, with a biggish belly. The son is short, not so tall, not short. I didn't use the word short, not so tall, and a bit slim. Yep. She even described the clothes. I said, Ariana, what, what did they had on? She said the short person had on a blue jersey and a black pants. And the tall person had on a yellow shirt or top, and a blue jeans. Sit back, meditate, and reminisce. If you saw those persons around the pool area before you recognized that that child was missing. The clothing that I'm describing will come to light. Will come to light. It's buried. The clothing is buried, but it will be discovered. Yep. She was then taken into another room when she became conscious. When she gained back consciousness? No. Correction. She's telling me everything. Even to the part where she was unconscious. She's now spirit-wise available to tell me the entire ordeal of what transpired. They then took her into another door. From the stockroom door, one of the stockroom doors, the door is on the right hand. from the reception area. The door is on the right hand. And then in that room has another door. And the other door leads to a stair that is made of metal steel. A steel stair. It is alongside the elevator. When you're going down the stairs, you can see the elements of the infrastructure of the elevator. It is made of steel. And they took her down to a lower flat. They took her into a other room where they usually take their victims and do the entertainment part of it, which is a sexual molestation part of it. And then there's a Hindu ritual altar that they do to maintain wealth, maintain power, and be on top of everyone. Their rituals, their beliefs, their cultural practices, evil, iniquitous practices. The altar area, it will be revealed to the world. The altar area is made out of a expensive tile. That's what she's telling me. It's made out of an expensive tile. And the bottom of it is like a bathtub. So it's, imagine, and then it's an arch. And there's a big god. And there's a monkey in the room. We're going to find out all the evidence. It's intact. The persons that work there are going to speak of the monkey that they feed. That they only see the monkey once in a while. And then the monkey goes into disappearance. And then suddenly the monkey comes back out in the open air. And then he goes back into wherever they keeps him. It's down in that room. Yep. And the big god is right there. And the altar is like a little pool. It's like how you see those water fountains. You'll have like a water fountain, and then you'll have like a little sink area. And it's made out of an expensive tile. I'm feeling a vibration of granite tile. And that's where they light the fire, the camphor, and everything, and they do the rituals. And then they lay the dead body down there in this hole. It's space enough to hold a long body. It's space enough. The sink area, it's enough to take a long body. And to her mother and father, I have some soothing news. They did not get to sexually penetrate her, but they sexually molested her. They were angry because y'all didn't move. They did not get to do what they had fully planned to do with her because y'all did not move. She was then molested. When she got her consciousness of what is going on, she woke up naked skin, naked as she's born. One person, the short person, was pulling her hands in the back of her head. And the tall person was molesting her. He was carrying out oral sexual molestation on her when she regained conscious. She tried to fight, and the person that was holding her hands behind her back, behind her head, squeezed her hands so hard, so tight. She said it was like a monster holding me. I feel the skin of my hands begin to squeeze off. She tried to fight and turn. And as she pulled forward and pulled backward, the white tiles, burnt her kneecaps, burnt it. It's burnt from tile soil in it. Imagine you have your elbows on a tile and somebody pulling you up and down on that tile. In an instant, it will burn like fire. Because she was trying to turn over from the person that was trying to molest her. She was trying to turn over. And in the turning over constantly and fighting while somebody's restraining her from behind, and her body's pushing down and pushing up, they bruised her kneecaps. That's how my kneecap got bruised, mommy and daddy. It was from the burns on the tile that burnt me. And my hands that got damaged, it was because they were squeezing my hands so tight, mommy, so tight that I felt like the skin was coming off my wrist. I squeezed him. There's scratches on his neck. Mommy, there's scratches on that short person's neck and on their wrist and on their hand. I scratched. I did all I could. They molested her. They both shared the molestation. They inserted their fingers in her because they wanted to make sure they get the blood to put to the altar. They recognized that they wasn't getting the energies that they wanted to get to penetrate her with their penis. While all of this was happening, the riot outside was distracting them. They hostage her between 12:30 minutes to 1. By the time 1:30, she was blanked out, unconscious. She woke up minutes to 3. When she woke up, that's when the molestation started. Then the tall man said to the short man, the shorter person, go in front and see what's going on and come back. Left share with me. I'm going to deal with it. You go. Go and make sure everything on the control. They have a sink and a washroom in that room. He cleanses, he wash up himself, fresh up himself, and he went back upstairs. He have a radio set that he and the boss alone uses. The radio set. All of this is going to come to light. All of this. And his cell phone has messages with him messaging downstairs what is going on upstairs. GT&T has all the evidence. GT&T has all the evidence of the text messages. Of him telling him what is going on outside. Because by the time he came back outside, that's when they recognized that these people are totally looking for this tribe. So the energies of being able to rape her brutally, they didn't get the chance to do that. Because the energies, remember, the child is a spiritual chosen vessel. She's a spiritual chosen vessel. He then went back down. After that, probably about, what time did he went down back, Adriana? 4:30. 4:30 he went back down. And then they light the altar. And they decided that they're going to start the ritual. They feed the monkey bananas. They talked. They harassed her, beat her up, physically tried to hurt her. And then both of them were both of them were confused to what to do. What will they do? Because these people downstairs going to the station. So then the tall person left and left her with the short person. The tall person changed, came, and he called the commander. And he went to the station. And he paid the commander $1 million. $1 million was paid up front to make them leave. When that was done, the commander tried his utmost best. That $1 million was paid between 6 and 7:30. 6 p.m. and 7:30 that night to make them leave. About 9:30, between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, 9:30 the latest, when the owner recognized that it's out of control, it's heading out of control, and he can't get to execute what he planned to do and how he planned to do it, he called X house. He called X house for help, because it's a normal routine that he does it and he gets off all the time. He is related to Y minister that takes care of children, the entire nation children. He's related to her. That is why she showed up. Yep. He's related to her. He called X house, explained he's in deep shit, because they're good like that. They don't have to say, I think I make a mistake. They know what they do and how they do it and who they do it for, because they're a clique. They're a clique. $10 million were then paid. X house called XYZ commissioner. Z commissioner was called. The journalist knows who I'm speaking about, because I called the exact name who was called. And Z commissioner called back the commander and tell the commander, what can't you get yourself in? Yeah, get it fucking fixed. Get it right. Get it right. Make them fucking people go home. Get it fucking right. That is when ex-commander declared that they got footage of her leaving the premises in a car. He tried his best to do his damage control. That's when the 10 million was paid. 10 million was split up between Z commissioner and the house and X-house and team. Yep. When I have transmitted this privately to a few persons, that the amount of $11 million was paid to do this entire cover-up. Z commissioner then called everybody that he know is the dirty dogs that is ready for take some of this $10 million to get it done. That is when 3 police officers from the dirty crew, 3 of them said, we got it covered. And they give the other ordinary man and woman that was in the building a little pinch for it. And they explained to them, all of them knew. They explained to them, is a little boyfriend and girlfriend situation, and it get out of hand. They didn't explain. Bear in mind, down to the dirty cops that agree to do certain things. The black ones didn't even know the dimension of what they're getting into. They didn't really have a clue of what they're getting into. Including, you see the word backfire right now is the main word for tonight. You see who the ancestors use? Guyanese critics. Guyanese critics. My people, didn't I transmit to y'all coming? Didn't I transmit that every system and all the persons and the oppressors and the enablers karma's going to hit them? Our ancestors going to use them as our tool, as our footstool? I have been transmitting. I don't know who was taking the data and who was listening. You see the backfire? Guyanese critics on the scene. Right now, Guyanese critics is in a puckle because he is now beginning to comprehend is where really he get himself involved with. Because he got in there for the benefits and the gains. Originally, he got in there because he thought he was standing up for justice and he was standing up for, what the country really needs. Genuinely. But then he got red eye with the goodies. But he didn't know that the goodies got some real dirty waters underneath. So now he beginning to comprehend. You see the backfire? You see the backfire what happened in there? So, let me continue. The $11 million was paid to cover this shit up. To cover up this entire evil operation. $11 million. Bearing in mind, when I transmitted this privately to certain persons from Tushin, that 11 million was paid, I myself did not comprehend. Veil upon their eyes be removed. Let black people's dirty veils, religious veils, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph veils that are on their eyes. Ashe. So anyway, let me continue because I want to be off this live ASAP. So $11 million were paid. I transmitted this privately to a number of persons. I did not comprehend what I was saying and the power of what I was actually saying. Tonight, when I was communicating this evening, when I was communicating with Miss Sister, with the young lady, Younge, Ariana said to me, Sister Rosalind, I was chosen for this journey. I said, what? What do you mean you was chosen for this journey? She said, tell mommy and daddy don't cry. Don't cry. I don't want nobody cry at my funeral. I want everybody to be smiling at my funeral. Put me down in joy. I said, why would you want, why would you say something like this? She said, Sister Rosalind, go and research the number 11. And as I begin to research the number 11, I cross paths with it a number of times. As I begin to research the number 11, and I begin to comprehend the deepness of what is transpiring, I was in utter shock that I transmitted that $11 million, $1 million up front first, and then $10 million when it got out of hand. I was like, oh my gosh, this child is 11 years old and it's $11 million. Then it went more deep. Count the years from the last revolution to the Slavery Abolishment Act from 1823 to 1834. Exactly 11 years. And the ancestors brought me to a place where they said, you're transmitting, But you need to understand the seriousness of what you're transmitting. That is 11 times came into play 3 times. She's 11 years old. 11 years old, 11 years after the last slavery rebellion, where it started in Guyana and ended in Guyana. We got the Slavery Abolishment Act from 1823 to 1834. And then $11 million was paid to cover it up. That is 3 times 11. My people, wake up. Wake up. Wake up.